Hi guys, it's Dr. Robinson. This is our weekly update. This is the August 5th, 2023 meeting of the Money Masters Investment Club. Just a couple of quick charts we're going to look at here today, and I want to explain a couple of things, but let's just look at some basic issues here real quick. So starting NAV is kind of interesting. We did have a pretty good week this week, but one of the things I told you I've been doing is trying to apply. We had some losses on our strangle, so I've actually took those gains this week that we had and applied those to the strangle. So our NAV for the moment stays the same at 29.16. The good news is with that we are only about $1 away from parity on the strangle. So and I've told you before, once we get to parity, I'm going to stop the strangle completely and just simply trade the money the way we normally trade our regular accounts. So we're kind of done with the strangle. The strangle's just, it's not working in this kind of low volatility environment. Now the VIX did spike this week a little bit, but we're not sure how long that's going to last. It did spike on the credit downgrade from Fitch's. So that might have a longer term impact on the market. I do think that it's more important than a lot of people are putting or making it. But the market did try to bounce back yesterday, and it did a pretty good job yesterday of bouncing back, but ultimately it failed, and we ended up the day lower. So we've ended up the day lower 3 days in a row now, and you know we might actually get some help on the strangle as well from the market if the market wants to continue to decline. I don't see that, by the way. I don't think it's going to, especially long term, but it would sure be nice if it did. But the numbers, what I'm going to do here is hopefully if we have a normal week next week, making up $1 shouldn't be that hard. We should be done with the strangle completely by the end of next week. I'm going to ask you guys to bear with me a little bit in terms of the statements, because what I want to do is I want to give everybody the same statement. Keep in mind we do have some clients or some members of the club who are newer than others, and they weren't part of the strangle, so they're getting statements, or their statements look a little bit different than somebody who's been with us for a year or two when it comes to the NAV. So because we're carrying forward those losses, they're not part of those losses. They didn't have any losses on their accounts because they weren't part of that when it was going on. So their NAV's a little different, but hopefully in the next week or so we can get everybody's NAV. It is exactly the same. So whether you've been with us for a day or whether you've been with us for 4 years, the NAVs will all be equal. So that's kind of the goal. That's what we're looking for. Of course, it requires us to have a pretty good, not a pretty good week, but just a decent week next week. And assuming we can get that done, the NAV should be done, and we can kind of get back to regular investing without that strangle. So just wanted to update you guys. Again, if you have any questions about anything, let me know. And assuming that everything works out this week, this coming week, we'll have the actual statements out for you by the end of next week. I have sent some out for some of the people. Like I said, some people aren't affected by the strangle, so they've already gotten their statements. And then, of course, if you're a paid customer, if you're in a paid account, those statements, you should have already received those, or you'll receive those in the next day or so. So having said that, if you have any questions for me, just give me a call or email, text, whatever it is, and we'll talk to you then.